quiet. We're talking about wabbits. Hello everyone! I am Richard Vigorelli, and I am your guide for Chinese astrology for the Westerner. And today, we're going to be talking about the metal rabbit, what the metal rabbit means. But before I do that, I want to talk first about what the rabbit itself means, so that you have some context. So the rabbit itself is all about diplomacy, and it's about refinement. So the rabbit will not be much into trashy TV or bad music. They will have absolutely no caring about what the latest pop culture family is doing, about why they're doing it, why they're famous, blah, 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 blah. They just don't care. So they are, the rabbit is also about kind of traveling around. They don't like to stay in one place for very long. And the rabbit is also very good at making friends. So what happens when you put metal in with this? Well, metal is the opposite of wood, which is the rabbit's natural element. Metal cuts, metal slices and dices and removes. Metal is also highly adaptive. And metal can also completely change itself as it adapts. So you put this in on top of the diplomatic energy of rabbit, and this person becomes very cunning. I would expect to see this one working in Congress, working in Parliament, and calculatively climbing the ranks. Because they will see things in a way that they don't like it. So they are going to try and remove things that they don't like. Because remember, metal is a very cold, calculating energy. It's also a fairly static energy. It requires a lot of heat and excitement to get it to move. So this rabbit, contrary to the other 3 or 4 of them, little bit of issue with the Earth rabbit because Earth is very steady. This rabbit will probably not want to move around a lot. They'll have a lot of friends, but they'll have very few close friends. They'll also be very good at teaching. And the metal rabbit will talk in a way that is slightly over your head. And it'll still make sense, but they will speak to you in a way that you're going like, I need to read a lot more in order to understand exactly what it is you're saying. I know what you said, but there's parts of it that don't entirely make sense, and I'm mildly confused. I actually had a professor who was a metal rabbit. He's one of my favorites. The guy was brilliant. It's funny, too. I actually consider him a friend, and he would talk to us in class in such a way that unless you had a fairly significant background in whatever it was he was talking about, it just kind of went over your head. You got it, but it was more like, I need to read a lot to figure out what it is you're saying. So Metal Rabbit's going to be a really good teacher. And if they're going to work in politics, if they're going to work in diplomacy, they are going to be very good at explaining why a situation is the way that it is. They are going to be very good at not necessarily convincing, but intellectualizing the problem, getting it down to its very good nuts and bolts, and explaining it to you in such a way that you'll probably get it. Maybe. I would expect to see them working at an embassy. I would expect them to be a tenured professor. I would expect to see a metal rabbit being a long-term either CEO or high up in a company. I would not expect to see a metal rabbit doing menial labor anywhere. They're way too smart. And they're also way too likable, despite despite their metal influence. So, this has been my interpretation of the Chinese metal rabbit. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe below. And if you would like me to run your Chinese astrological chart and figure out what it is you are and what your proclivities to, please visit my website at vigintmed.com. That stands for Vigorelli Integrated Medicine. It's just the first 3 letters of each word strung together with a .com at the end. And I will be back later on with the great and powerful dragon. And we're going to start off with the water dragon. Until then, take care. Have an awesome day.